Hey racers, and welcome back to another live stream on this beautiful Thursday. Topic for today's live stream is how to lose weight, uh, body weight, scale weight. Um, I forgot the topic that we were actually talking about. I wrote it down. How to be able to lose weight if you are eating healthy. Okay, so if you're having trouble losing weight, but you feel that your diet is on point, but you're still not dropping the kilos that you'd like on the scales, what do you do? What's going on? And the reason I brought this up is in the last week, I've had three of my riders, three separate riders, ask me this exact same question. So I thought that if I've had a few riders ask me in the last week, there's probably a few of you guys as well that may be having the same problem. And it can be really frustrating because when you make the changes, like you cut out all the shit food, you cut out the takeaway, you cut out the desserts, you do all those types of things, you feel like you're doing all the right things. It can be frustrating when you're making the sacrifices, you're putting the work in, and then still not seeing your weight drop. So overall, with weight loss, it comes down to calories. So calories is energy, okay, and all foods that we eat, fruits, meats, vegetables, desserts, alcohol, cordial, nut bars, cereal in the morning, toast, whatever it is, everything is made up of calories. Okay, and calories is just a term for energy or fuel for your body. And so our body on a day-to-day basis burns a certain amount of calories. And it burns calories in different ways. So we have our resting metabolic rate. So even while I'm just sitting here, my body's burning calories to keep me operating, otherwise I'd be dead. When I go and train, my body's burning calories. When I'm sleeping through the night, my body's also burning calories. So everyone has a different resting metabolic rate. And depending on the activity you do, if you've got a more physical job during the day and you go and work on a construction site, or you're laying bricks all day, or you're a laborer, you're probably burning quite a few calories. For me, doing all of my coaching from my office, I spend a lot of time sitting down. So probably I'm not going to be burning as many calories as someone who is moving around all day. And then there's everyone else in between. So we have calories that come in through food consumption, and then we burn off a certain amount of calories through what we do on a day-to-day basis. So if we want to lose weight, okay, we want to reduce the size of your body. So you jump on the scales and you're 100 kilos and you'd like to get down to 90 kilos. What has to happen is your body has to create what's called a calorie deficit. What a calorie deficit is where your body is burning off more calories throughout the day than what it's taking in. Okay, so let's just make up some numbers. Let's say that I'm eating 2,000 calories a day worth of food. If I am burning off 2,200 calories a day through being alive, hey Hessam, through exercising, through going training, through being active, I've got a 200 calorie deficit there. Okay, so I'm burning off 2,200 calories, but I'm only putting in 2,000. And so what happens is there's a gap there of 200. And so what the body has to do is, so over a week, if we have a 200 calorie deficit every day for 7 days, that's 1,400 calories less that your body is getting. Now, what your body has to do is it's got less calories coming in, less fuel. And it needs those extra calories, that extra fuel, to be able to keep your body operating and doing what it needs to do. So what does it do? It has to start using fuel sources that it's holding on to. So it could be through breaking down muscle mass or breaking down body fat to make up those 200 calories. And so that's how you start to lose weight, is because you've got that deficit, your body is not using energy from food to make up those 200 calories because they're not there. It's got 200 calories less than what it actually needs. So what happens is it starts to break down its own body itself to be able to keep you operating, keep you going. And that's how it makes up for those 200 calories. That's the deficit. If you want to gain weight, it's the opposite way. You need to be in a calorie surplus. So what that means is if you're taking, if your body, again, if we use the same example, if your body is burning, let's say 1,800 calories a day with day-to-day exercise, sitting in the office, laying bricks or going training, and that's what your body needs, it's burning 1,800 calories, and you put in 2,000 calories, it's got 200 extra calories now. Okay, it's burning 1,800 during the day, but we're putting in 2,000 with our food. It's got an extra 200 calories. So it's already looked after all its requirements and everything it needs to do for the day, and there's an extra 200 sitting there. And so what happens with that extra 200 is your body goes, shit, well, we've already done everything we need to do. We've already met our responsibilities for the day. We've used all the calories already. What are we going to do with these extra 200 calories that have been put in? And so what it has to do, it has to work out what to do with it. So what it does is it will either go and build muscle mass, depending on the type of training that you've been doing, or it will go and get stored as body fat. Okay, and that's how you increase your weight. If you just want to maintain and stay at the same weight, then you'll have to be putting in the same amount of calories that we're burning. Okay, so they equal out. Now, that being said, whether it's a good food or a bad food when it comes to weight loss, to a degree, is really irrelevant. Calories are the main thing that needs to be worked on first. So just because you're eating well, that doesn't automatically mean that you're in a calorie deficit. Okay, the food might be better for you. It might have more nutrients, more vitamins, more minerals, might make you feel more satisfied and all the rest of it. But at the end of the day, if we're still in a calorie surplus, or you're at maintaining calories and you're not in a calorie deficit, even if you're eating salads all day, you're still not going to lose the weight because you're not in a deficit. So often what will happen is riders will try and lose weight. They want to lose weight and get lighter for the bike, which is great. And they'll go and do a particular type of training or exercise. They'll ramp things up. They'll be training harder than what they were before. And so what this does is it burns more calories. Their body is burning more calories now because they're training harder and working harder. Great. And they still won't lose weight. And the reason they don't lose weight is what happens is when you start training, your metabolism speeds up. Okay, your body is working and operating at a higher level now burns a lot more calories. And so what happens is your body is giving you more signals to put in more food. So you're hungrier more often, you don't get satisfied as quickly with your meals, and you don't stay satisfied as long as what you did before. So if you're not paying attention to the amount of calories that go in, even if you're eating well, unintentionally what happens is the amount of food that you consume and the amount of calories that come in also increases. So if we're increasing the amount of calories we're burning, but we're also increasing the amount of calories we're consuming, we stay in a surplus, okay? And so what happens is we either maintain our weight or we start going the opposite way and gaining weight, even though we're doing all of this training and all the exercise and appear to be doing all the right things. And that's because, again, we're not in a calorie deficit. If you just ate exactly the same amount of calories that you ate before and then you implemented exercise, what that would mean is instead of staying at the same weight, if we can burn more calories, then we create a calorie deficit, okay? And then we've got something to work with, and then your body will start to drop weight. So when it comes to healthy foods, the reason you want to eat well when it comes to losing weight and not eat McDonald's every day and trying to lose weight that way is a couple of things that are really two things that I wrote down. Number one, you're going to feel a lot better. Your body has a heap of different systems working, okay, at any one time. And it needs vitamins and minerals, micronutrients for those systems to be able to operate optimally. When you are eating packaged food, processed stuff, takeaway foods, chocolates and desserts, they've got little to zero nutritional value. So those vitamins and minerals in there that are going to make you feel good and make you feel energetic and sleep well and be in a good mood and have a clearer mind and all that sort of stuff, you're not going to get that. So you're going to feel like shit. So even though you might be in a calorie deficit eating shit food, you're just going to feel like shit. The second thing that's going to happen is processed foods are usually very high in sugar and chemicals and shit that our body's not designed for. So, and also happen to be low in fiber as well. So what happens is fiber is what helps to fill us up. Okay, so when you go and eat a particular food, the fiber is what helps to make you feel full and feel satisfied. If you're eating foods that are still meeting your caloric intake for the day or still in a calorie deficit, but you are eating, I just want to make sure I explain this very clearly. If you are eating shit quality foods, but still in a caloric deficit, what's going to happen is you're going to feel hungry because they don't have fiber. So you're getting all these calories in, but you're starving. So in other words, you're going to spend your whole day feeling like shit energy-wise, but you're also going to have a problem. You're going to have to use a lot of willpower to not overeat and consume calories, right? So if I give you an example here, let's take Hungry Jack's, for example. Hungry Jack's fries, calories, right? So a Hungry Jack's fries isn't really that big. Large. Let's say a large one. Okay, even a large Hungry Jack's fries isn't that big. Now, if you take a large one, 490 calories in one of those large fries. So if your body needs 2,000 calories, for example, and or burns off 2,000 calories a day, well, that's your caloric intake for a particular day, and you have 490 calories in one large Hungry Jack's fries, that's 25% of your food, your calories that you've just taken in for the day in one thing of fries. And one thing of fries isn't going to fill you up, right? You're probably going to have other stuff as well. So you're going to find it very hard. So if you, like for example, if you're eating 2,000 calories a day, and that means you can have 4 large Hungry Jack's chips a day, right? Now, I don't know about you, but 4 large Hungry Jack's chips a day, you're not going to feel satisfied after that, or probably eat that in one meal and still be hungry, right? So imagine that for a whole day. So you're going to feel like shit. You're going to have low levels of energy. You might lose weight, which is fine, but you're just going to feel shit. It's not going to be sustainable. You're not going to feel good. Your body's not going to be operating at its best. So if you're watching this, you probably want your body operating at its best so you can go and ride and race and perform at your best. Foods that are high in calories that may be perceived as healthy. Things like milk, nuts, oils, yogurts. Okay, so in general, fats are the thing that are very dense in calories. So I wrote down the numbers here, so I had some numbers. So if we're looking at per gram of food, protein and carbs are about 4 calories per gram. Hey, Brody. If we're looking at fats are 11 grams 11 calories, write that down wrong. 11 calories per gram. Okay, so we're comparing 4 calories per gram for proteins and carbs with fats, which is 11 grams. Oh, sorry, 11 I really should have written this right. 11 calories per gram. So it's more than double what protein and carbs are for the same amount of food. So if you are, for example, like if you eat a lot of nuts, a lot of avocados, you add olive oil to everything. So like I've got an Italian background. They add olive oil to fucking everything, right? If you eat a lot of olives, if you drink a lot of milk, eat a lot of yogurt, have a lot of oils on any of your food, these are extremely high calorie foods. Even though they might be good quality, hey Riley, hey Brody, even though they might be good quality foods, okay, and they come in the healthy category, they're still very high in calories. So if you're having nuts throughout the day as a snack and you're like, okay, well, nuts are pretty healthy, they're pretty good, I'll eat them throughout the day while I'm working at my desk. You're just piling in a shit ton of calories. Yes, they may be healthy. Yes, they may have a lot of nutrients and all the rest of it. But at the end of the day, if you want to lose weight, you have to be in a calorie deficit. So if you're eating those types of snacks throughout the day, you're going to find it very hard to keep in your deficit. Same as with olive oil. So like for me, I was saying, hey, Chris, I'm coming from an Italian background, add olive oil to everything. You cook steak on the fry pan, olive oil. Okay, you cook chicken, olive oil. You're making salad, olive oil. Olive oil has an absolute shit ton of calories, and the thing is, it doesn't fill you up. It's just a liquid, right? That's why, like, if we look at fries for, like I was just talking about for Hungry Jack's, that's why they're 500 calories for a large fries. It's because they're fried. So potatoes aren't bad. If you have baked potato, you boil your potato, you make mashed potato, that's great, that's fine. As soon as we start to add oils into that, we start to fry things, the calorie content goes 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times what the actual food is, and it doesn't fill you up any more than it normally would. So an easy way to be able to cut down your calories for the day, if you're eating healthy and you want to try and get in less calories to help you lose weight, then if you've got these things in your diet, milk, nuts, oils, and yogurt, you want to make sure that you're minimizing them. Doesn't mean don't have them, but if your snack throughout the day is nuts, for example, okay, or you have a few glasses of whole milk throughout the day, or you have yogurt a few times a day, tubs of yogurt, or you add olive oil to everything, you have salads with olive oils and things like that, you're going to be over your caloric intake for the day, and you're going to find it very hard to lose weight, even if you're doing all of the right stuff, okay, and eating the right types of foods. So it doesn't mean don't eat those things. You just got to have them in the right quantities. That's all. Okay, so be mindful of the higher calorie foods that you're getting in. And that's really all I've got to say. When it comes to that, as much as I encourage you guys to eat healthy, that's part of the equation. That's not the whole equation, though. So yeah, that's really it. There was something else I wanted to touch on. I find the biggest, so one of the things that happens, actually, that might be worth noting. One of the things that happens for most of you when you go from eating the way that you are to eating well, okay, proteins, fats, carbs, and eating them in the right portions, naturally, majority of healthy foods are lower calorie, okay, to be fair, in comparison to a bowl of ice cream, muesli bars, nut bars, cereals, and things like that. Okay, naturally, healthier foods are lower in calories. However, that doesn't always mean that you're going to be in a calorie deficit. So they're my top ones. Milk, nuts, oils, yogurt are the ones that come to mind that are some high calorie food. So if you're eating a shit ton of those, try and limit those. So limit those to like two thumbs for each meal. So breakfast, lunch, and dinner, do 2 thumbs worth of fat. So if you're having almonds, have almonds that covers your 2 thumbs. If you're having a bit of avocado, cover your 2 thumbs. Okay, if you're having olive oil and that's your natural fats, make sure it's 2 thumbs. Like 2 thumbs is not much. That's like a tablespoon of oil, right? Again, coming from an Italian background, like there's nothing that has 1 tablespoon of oil. It's like you get the big, what is it, might be 5 litre bottle of oil, and you're chugging it in the fry pan. That's like eating a whole week's worth of calories in one meal. Especially when you're frying stuff, it absorbs a lot of the oil. So let's say you're making like chicken schnitzels, for example. Okay, it might not be that bad. You might be having a chicken breast. You might lightly breadcrumb it, and then and maybe use some egg to help to put the breadcrumbs on there. Now that's one set of calories. Now if you load up the fry pan with a whole heap of olive oil, what happens is all those breadcrumbs and the chicken soaks up all of that oil. So now it's doubled and tripled the amount of calories that's in that chicken, but you don't feel any more full, any more satisfied from having those extra calories there. And that's why it becomes really easy to get, even if you're eating well, to get these extra calories in. So it's just about finding better ways of doing things. So if you drink a lot of milk during the day, okay, a lot of whole milk, and that's what you enjoy having, and you have that while you're at your desk at work, or maybe you have a lot of protein shakes while you're out working in construction, maybe, it's just about finding better options. So maybe don't have your protein shake with milk, okay, have it with water. Instead of having milk, maybe have water instead of milk. Okay, maybe have put some fruit in your water to give it a bit of flavor. Maybe use like a no sugar cordial that you can have throughout the day. If you have a lot of nuts throughout the day, then maybe change that to something that's lower calorie. Maybe it's you have tomatoes. Maybe you have some fruit sticks with a little bit of a decent dip. Maybe it's like some carrot sticks, some celery sticks, cherry tomatoes, bit of like cucumber sticks, things like that throughout the day, rather than having a whole heap of nuts. If you add oil to everything, that's pretty simple. Just don't try not to fry stuff, right? Try and bake it if you can, or boil it if you can. Or if you do fry it, just make sure you're very wary of how much oil you're adding to things. And same for yogurt. If you have a lot of yogurt throughout the day, swap that out to something else. So maybe you have a salad instead. Or maybe you still have yogurt, but you just make sure you have a smaller quantity. Instead of having 2, 3, 4 tubs throughout the day as snacks of yogurt, maybe you just have 1 or 2 mouthfuls of yogurt with breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And you have something else for a snack throughout the day. It could be vegetables or lower calorie stuff. Hopefully that helps you guys. I didn't have too much of a plan for what I was going to go through today, so I know I went on a couple of different tangents. If you found that helpful, please give the video a like. It just helps other people to see it on the book as well. And yeah, that's really all I've got for today. If there's any questions at all that you guys have regarding this stuff, post it up in the comments. I don't always reply to the comments, but if I see topics that come up continually, I'll put together a video for you and be able to help you that way. But otherwise, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and look forward to putting some more videos together. See you guys.